Welcome to Sew Very Easy. My name is Laura. Now I am in my sewing room 40 hours or more a week, which means I really do use the things like my irons a lot. And sometimes I'm a little impatient for things to dry, like starch, glues, fabric, and because of that, I do have a tendency, well, to gunk up my irons. Now I do have two irons. This one has a ceramic plate and this one has a steel plate, but they are both in need of a cleaning. Now this is something I have to do every few months, so I thought, well, you'd come along and see how I'm going to clean my irons. Now there's many ways we can clean our irons, but today, because this one really needs cleaning, I am going to use a magic iron cleaner. So let's see how much gunk I can get off my iron. So both the irons that I need to clean today are the Oliso Magic Touch irons, which means when I touch them, they go down and they come back up. So I can leave them in this position. My newer one does have a beautiful ceramic plate, and my old one does have that steel plate. The ceramic does have a tendency to stay cleaner a lot longer. But this is a lot older, so I do like to use this one when I am using a lot of starch alternatives, adhesives, if I'm trying to dry fabric quickly, or I'm using a fabric that hasn't been washed and I know there's going to be a lot of dye in it. So I do try to keep this one for my quilting, my whites, and things that I do not want to accidentally stain. Regardless, they could both do with a cleaning. Most of the stain on this iron is from starch. When we spray starch our items, we need to let that starch soak into the fabric. Once it is soaked in, then we do not get all of this burnt on starch on our irons. So it's the starch cooking on that iron. The irons do get dirty around the outsides as well as those plates. So I'm going to give them a cleaning. To clean them, I do need to have them on high settings. While these are heating up, I'm going to get some old towels, one that is going to be damp and one that is dry. So I'm going to use an old towel and I'm going to raise a little bit of a hump in the center. I just want that a little bit higher. And then I'm going to squeeze a line of cleaner right along that little hump. Now that that iron is good and hot, I'm going to run it over top of this cleaner. I'm going to rub it along the sides, right up to that tip, as much as I can on the sides. We can already see a big difference. Now I can lay that out and give a good circular motion. I'm going to run another little bit on that cloth. And now I can focus on the areas that are really dirty, like those sides. I do have steam in the iron, but you can do this with a dry iron. I really want to get those sides as well as that bottom. So you can see those sides and the bottom are so much better. Now I'm going to take that wet cloth and clean off all of that extra cleaner, any extra dirt. And that's all there is to cleaning that iron. So I'm going to let this cool down and then I'm going to be able to wash all of the outside. I now am going to clean this iron, and it's not as bad. I really just have more around that point. So I'm going to try and see if I can use enough of what is here that's left over. Really want to get into those ends. I like the ends really clean. And let's give it a rinse. Now I'm going to let this one cool down so I can clean up all of the other areas. I would rather all of that mess on this towel than on any quilting or project that I'm working on. They really do look nice now. My ceramic sole and the metal sole all have a beautiful, clean look. One thing, if you do have any of these little vents that are plugged, you can buy these mascara little wands. I found a whole pile at the dollar store. I use them for a lot of cleaning in the sewing room. I use them to clean my sewing machine. And you can always clean those little vents in the irons. They just fit right in to give some cleaning. They also fit right along that little opening. You will need to have the iron cool for that, but it really does get into those little places. The cleaner did have just a mild smell to it, but I did not find it overwhelming at all. So in a dream world, my irons would never be dirty. But if you're anything like me, you're excited to get to that next project. And that buildup can be from dyes in the fabric, from not letting that starch soak in, maybe ironing over a little bit of an adhesive, and well, just plain everyday ironing. The iron cleaner works great. It's made for the irons. I know it's safe for the irons, and it works quick, and it does a great job. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out, and thank you for joining me today while I cleaned my irons. Bye for now.